Welcome to Community CPA's meeting Zoom. Isn't this cool? We can still meet, right? I know by now I'm getting a little bit used to, and with this new lifestyle, I don't know how you feel about it. We sort of figure out a way how to communicate, right? I have like every day I have few Zoom meetings with clients and a meeting online talking about what's going on right now. So I think while we are, oh, you saw Peanut. Peanut is the company I have in the office. So he keep me content so I can work. While we are, waiting for COVID-19 to be over, and may not be very fast at all. And we really need to kind of dive into what's important for the business. This webinar we do, in fact, we have it every day, other than Sunday, every day, Monday to Saturday, 3 o'clock. Community CPA would have one webinar, and on Monday, that's in Chinese. And on Tuesday, I come on and I will do the topics that I think is most important for the giving time. And then on Wednesday, we do in Vietnamese. And Thursday, we kind of designated that webinar to be a webinar that to teach people how to work remotely. And then we have Friday, that's in Spanish, and Saturday, you will always see me on Saturday and a Tuesday. So tune in at 3 o'clock and to see what we have new for you. And today, now we have accumulated quite a few cases related to small business taking advantage. I won't even call it taking advantage. We're just trying to survive. So trying to apply what's there for you. And I kind of want to walk through all the available things out there for small businesses. And we talk through them, and I will show you the internet when it is appropriate, and I will give you another screen. So we go on to internet together to see where you can see those information. My goal is when you spend time with me, and you will know the general big direction you're going to. And I want you to be able to dive in deeper on your own after this. And if you have issues, of course, you can call Community CPA. And obviously, we would love to have you as our client. And we are always looking to receive more clients to join our firm. In fact, sometimes I have people calling me, goes, do you take new clients? I'm almost always want to say that, why are you asking that question? But I did experience something like that in other professional service. And when you call, they goes, we don't take new clients anymore. I thought they're so amazing. I can't imagine at what point of time Community CPA would say, well, we don't take new clients anymore. I just can never get there. So I welcome everybody, and I am so pleased that you're here. Let me share my screen with you and we get going. All right. Share my screen. All right. Now, this is the real stuff. SBA Loan Explained, updated today. I did update it. And so I always take this opportunity to introduce to you all from my book. And I really did write this book aiming to make it fun. So it is kind of a storybook, but I laid out in the way that you could figure out what kind of business person you are. And it is not always true. We are all fit to do one kind of business. Some people are good to be a partner with someone, some are not. So through my book, do some exercise and you'll figure out what kind of person you are, so you can kind of know how can you go about doing better business. So it's on Amazon and you can order that. And the content I have here, especially nowadays because the information is updating so much, we can never say that it is absolutely correct a week later or even a day later when you look at the content. But it is always a good place for you to know where to go. So while I'm saying don't rely on my information to conduct a lawsuit, but at the same time, it is always good for you to seek out new information, and based on what I have here, ask questions. Maybe I just did something wrong. When you ask questions, and I will correct that right away. And if you have questions for me right now, put that into the question and answers box on the bottom of your screen, and I'll come back to it. All right, let's talk about this stimulus check and recovery rebate and economic impact payment. Ladies and gentlemen, do you know they're all the same? Okay, and there's so many names for this $1,200. It is making us feel like we're going to get 3 times of that. No, they're the same money. Okay, and I want to tell you that there's some really important tricks you need to learn, because if you run into the situation like those kind of situations, you need to file your 2019 really quickly. And first of all, let me show you about this 75,000 and then 150,000. Then you have 112,000, right? You saw this 75,000, 150,000, going back. 150,000, 112,500. These are key number to remember. This is by yourself. This is if 2 of you. This is if you are head of a household. So if your income, if your AGI is over that and you don't get it. So let me show you what is AGI, okay? I have quite a few people asking me that question, and I want to show you what that means. So I'm stop sharing this one, but I will share you something else. And let's see. So on this screen, you saw this 1040, right? So AGI is about 1040. This is right here. The AGI is right in this line. Did you see that? Adjusted gross income. They're saying that if your 2019 or your 2018 tax return, you are over 75,000. Let's say I'm doing my own tax return. I put my name and number, my name and social security number here. But if I am putting in here $100,000, say I made that, okay, then I don't get the stimulus check anymore because I'm over. But you would for sure get if you have under 75,000. Does that make sense? So this is what I really want to, in today's classes, I want to get into a little bit of itty-gritty so you actually know what exactly we were talking about when we say AGI. So in here, you know that this is 75,000, and if it is go over 99, you're totally done. But if you have between 75,000 to 99, you get a portion of it. Okay, so that's our stimulus check. So here, I want to introduce to you a website. IRS just pulled it up. This is just made available to us, and I want to show you where that is. So IRS came up with this website, just made available. And if you see, it is non-filer, enter your payment information here. Who are the non-filers? My question to you. Non-filer is not somebody who just got a tardy and didn't file taxes. No. Non-filers are the individuals making too little, there's no need to file. Okay, some of the Social Security recipients is that way, all right? But here, the IRS also said that if you receive these benefit, we already have your information. You will receive the 1,200. Do not use this application if you receive Social Security, Medicare, Social Security, retirement, disability, SSDI. How many times I get people ask me that question? So if you and your friend receive a disability, no need to file. And or survivor benefit, those are the ones, survivor benefit, I can imagine that if someone died early, the spouse or the children who are under 18 were receiving Social Security payment, those people you don't need to file, they will give that to you. So really go on to IRS website. At this time, I want to tell you that it is so important. You don't go on Google's, trust everything you see on internet. It is really, really dangerous. We had a client and received the email from some big name, some global capital something. The name looks very legit. So it's asking our client to apply for PPP. It's guaranteed to be funded in 3 working days. How exciting is that, right? So not knowing these are phishing sites, they have no real reason to help you. They just want your information. So make sure that you don't go somewhere else to put into your payment information. You must be coming to IRS site to put in your bank information. Get my payment coming mid-April. So we're not mid-April yet. Mid-April is after April 15. So nobody gets that payment yet. But there is 4 categories I really want to mention to you so you can do it quickly. And so you will maximize your stimulus check. If you have college students who are already over 18, but you used to put them on your tax return because you're claiming their education credit, and now it is time to cut them off, and they have a little bit of income, let them claim. You probably think that, oh yeah, I already did that. I did file my child tax return by themselves. But that doesn't mean they are independent from you. Maybe they were filing dependent tax return. So make sure they are filing a return not as your dependent. So that way they can get their 1,200. All right. And especially if you are parent, you have IT number and you don't have a social security number, and your kids has social security number, they're over 18. I would send them off to file their own tax return, even just for 2019, and get that stimulus check. All right. Because if one of you have IT, at this moment, the IRS rule is that you don't get anything. So if you put your kids underneath you, you don't get anything, including your kids. So make sure that you file them separately. And then also for some household in 2018, they had more income. So they're going over that threshold I was showing you, right? And now this time, and it's really a good time that you make sure that you bring them back. So like this one, if your household income changed a lot in 2019 and you made more in 18, you make less in 19, make sure you file 19, right? But what if it is reversed? In 19, I know I'm going to make a lot. If I file, I would go over that 100,000 threshold. But 18, I was good. Then leave it, because that's how stimulus check is coming to you. They're basing on 18 or 19, depends on that day when they cut check to you, which is available to IRS. Okay, so think of your situation. But what if you got a newborn in 2019? Make sure you file 19 timely so your newborn get that 500, right? And you maybe even have a triplets. That's even better. You got your 1,500. So it's really make sure that you are aware of your family. You're aware of your family change, your family situation, how you fit into this claim. And what if you get divorced in 2019? Then if you get divorced, you really want to file your own right away, because that is how you can literally not sending your 1,200 to your ex, which you don't even talk to each other, and that money goes to your ex bank account. I don't think you can get it back. So make sure you file the return quickly, right? So these are the things, scenarios I can think of would be important for you to know, that a stimulus check is coming in, and it's going to based on your 18-19 tax return. I already showed you where exactly that benchmark comes in. So you want to take a look at your return, all right, and decide on what you're going to do. And what if you say my 18 is not qualified, my 19 maybe not qualified, I don't know, what can I make it qualified? And then the only thing that can reduce your 19 income is business expenses, business loss. If you have a Schedule C, you have a more business loss, then obviously you go down. So it is anything that coming to let me just pull that up. It is anything that before these lines, right? This is the line we're looking at. It is anything above here. So we have here other income from Schedule 1 and 9. This is where your losses would come in if you have a business that with a loss. That's pretty much what you would get to, or maybe K1, right? You have a negative K1 that would come in to make your AGI lower too. So those are the things you would look into. All right. So this is kind of give us a little bit a section where I talk about stimulus check. Then the next section, I want to talk about unemployment benefit. I know a lot of you already know. Okay, so now I am a I am a subcontractor for some insurance company. I just get 1099 payment. I don't used to do anything with unemployment benefit because I know I don't qualify. But with COVID-19, the game changed. So now you are qualified. So generally speaking, the CARES Act giving state two major benefits. Number one, increase your weekly payment increased by about $600 per week. All right. Then is the timeline of the claim. So you got 13 weeks extra. So if you used to have 8 weeks, now you got more weeks plus 13. So that would give you 21 weeks. So these are the general benefit. And one key benefit for business owners, like say you run a S corporation. You pay for your employees W-2, but you never paid yourself because you never thought you would have money to pay yourself, right? If that is the case, when you don't pay yourself on S corporation, you know how you get a K1, but the S corporation K1 is literally doesn't represent self-employment income. So I want to show you something here. I am going into a S corporation. Am I sharing this screen? Let me stop sharing, make sure I share. Sometimes I get carried away. I didn't know I was sharing this one or not. I think I am sharing this one. Am I right? Someone give me a thumb up. Okay, so on here, you can see that I pull up a Schedule K1 1120S. When you have an S corporation, you actually get a K1 income come to you, but that income doesn't pay self-employment taxes. And the contract to 1065 K1, I pulled this one out because I really want you to understand this. So in 1065, which is the partnership, right? And you could have income. And on the bottom right here, folks, did you see that line 14? You see that line 14? That line 14 says self-employment earning. So this is where you consider that is your salary when you have a partnership. But when you have a 1120S, you look through this whole form, there is no such thing to allow you to treat 1120S K1 as your income, as your self-employment income. But if it is not self-employment income, then you couldn't get unemployment. You couldn't get unemployment income. See, this is an unemployment benefit, so it's sort of related to employment. So now, am I saying that, whoa, if I am S corporation owner, I didn't pay myself salary because I was so worried about my business. Now, are you telling me that no way, you're not going to get anything from here? No, I am not saying that. What I am saying is you cannot use your K1 for a claim of unemployment. But what can you use? You can use the portion you take and treat that as a 1099. Okay, so you might say that, whoa, that sounds really, I never heard of anybody saying that. Well, and when you are not paying yourself and you're working in the entity, and logically assume you are paying yourself some salary, some payment. So for purposes of getting you an unemployment benefit that you should be entitled to, oh, just because you didn't run the payroll, we want to get you to say how much of money you take from your company that was really your payroll. And you may say, well, 50,000. I distributed 100,000, but half of it should be my payroll. Okay, fine. And on the tax return, you can put that as a payment to yourself, but it's self-employment payment. Okay, I just literally resolved issue related to 1120S owners who are not doing payroll. But of course, I don't want you to do that all the time. But in reality, sometimes our S corporation owner didn't even know that they're supposed to do payroll for themselves. They thought the K1 is their income. No, the K1 is their distribution. You must have a payroll for yourself. Okay, but if you didn't, carve it out, figure out which part it is, and then use that part to claim unemployment. All right, so we talked about S Corp. For LLC, you saw me taking that 1065. You saw me taking this 1065, so you will use line 14. Just go to line 14. That is the number you are going to use to claim of your payment. All right. And then you will say, but what about I'm a sole proprietor? I have an answer for you too. If you are a sole proprietor, you are doing profit and loss, right? So profit and loss, that last line, line 31, that will be the dollar you will take to the state to apply for unemployment benefit. So here, it is our Iowa workforce website. You come to COVID-19 and you will apply. I want you to go through their information, and it is really useful. And they made it so clear to people what you should do. So make sure that you check into that, okay? And so now let's look at my next slide. All right, so this is a tips for the unemployment claim, and I am going into this slide. It says unemployment benefit application common mistakes that we collected here. So for business owners, the most common mistake they make is to mix 1120 SK1 with their income. They're not your income. You need to redefine your income if you are 1120S. If you are 1065, you do have a K1 to help you to define that as your income. But I also want to point out one other thing here. On the 1065, don't forget your other employment income is also 4B. Did you see 4B, guaranteed payments? Okay. Guaranteed 4A, I'm sorry. Guaranteed payment for service. That is what you need to add. You need to take this amount as well, 4A. So your 4A plus your 14, that will be your total, like your salary. So you put that in. And the business owner also very confused with sales versus profit. So if you are on 1040 Schedule C, you don't report that number as your income. You report this number as your income. Okay, so make sure that as a business owner, you know what is the real employment income that you have in your business. What about those subcontractors in your business? For example, you run a hair salon and you own the hair salon, but you rent the chairs out for people. So they were doing hairs for other customers, and you take their income into your cash register, and you know that the chair A has, you issue a 1099 for the chair A, for the A lady, right? And your subcontractor can go to the state to apply for unemployment as well. And the major mistake happens right here. So let's say I'm the lady who did the hairs for the customer in your salon. So you give me a 1099 for 50,000. I reported that 50,000 right here. So I reported 50,000 as my income, and I have all the expenses and all of that. So I ended up with $45,000 for myself, right? When I go to workforce to apply for my unemployment benefit, I would put in employer myself, because I am the business. I apply for, this is my income. My 1099, even though it's related to you, it actually has nothing to do with you. I can use this 1099, use my Schedule C. My employer is myself. My profit is my income. A lot of mistake was made by the subcontractor when they go in. Instead of putting in their own name and the social security number, they put in the issuer's name and the EIN number. Then suddenly you, as a business owner, receive this letter saying that you never paid any unemployment benefits. So you are requested, they request you to answer a question whether you should allow that or not. And worse, if that happened before, you would be audited right away. So make sure you talk to your subcontractors. When they fill into the unemployment benefit application, they need to use their name, their social security number, or maybe their EIN number, because sometimes Schedule C has a EIN number, right? They don't use their social security number, but they used to use that one, not yours, okay? Then for your employees, you have employees, and let's say right now you are in the process of getting PPP, free loan, okay? Then you're sitting here goes, well, I'm not sure whether I should let my employee claim unemployment benefit or not, or who knows, maybe they already claimed it. So you're sitting here goes, well, I'm not sure I can claim both, right? And the answer is, yes, you can claim both, okay? Not in the sense of, I want you to duplicate, but let me explain to you. Your employee probably already on unemployment benefit, but in order you to use your PPP money and without paying it back, like to be a free loan, you have to demonstrate that you hired people back by the end of June. So they can stay on unemployment for a little while until the end of June, you need to take them back. So just keep that in mind, because once you get the PPP loan, you have to demonstrate you spend that money with your employee, not the same employee necessarily, but the position. So let's say you have 5 employees, they're all on unemployment benefit right now, and you applied for PPP and you got approved. And so now this is the end of May, I would make sure that I take them back, even though it is not end of June, but because I got my PPP loan, so I take them back to start paying them on the PPP amount. But what if you say, whoa, out of these 5 employees, I only like one of them. The other 4, I don't want them because they're just lousy, lousy workers and really causing more troubles than worth. And in the past, I just don't know how to let them go. And trust me, I have clients like that. I mentioned this before. I could not believe it. I could not believe that our business owners sometimes are so vulnerable. Like we are so, I don't even have a word for it. This is where I start speaking Chinglish instead of English. But no, you let them go if that's the case, and you hire a new people coming in as long as you still have the position available. So you have 5 positions, you're going to open 5. And what if you say, well, if I hire a new one, my salary going to go down. I'm not going to pay them the same amount like I use. It's okay because the PPP dollars and only regulate you to use 75% of on payroll. The other 25, you can make a rent payment, utility payment, and interest expense. They are all qualified to be free. So the government did think about that, and knowing that you may not be able to pay the full salary back just because, who knows, maybe there's no work and you want to reduce people by 25%. Then the other 25%, you can use it for other purposes. All right. So we sort of touched on PPP just because it is falling to the category I have right here, because I knew, those are the issues we often have, but we don't know where to find the answer. So when you are a business owner, we talked about how to document your income, and your subcontractors, I mentioned to you that the most common mistake is they use you as their boss instead of using themselves. Then come to your employee, they can be on unemployment benefit for a little while. All right. So that concluded the part that I call it related to CARES Act on unemployment side. Remember when we just started this talk, we talked about stimulus check. So we covered that. Then we covered unemployment benefit. And so now we are going into small business. And I had this slides for a little while. If you have attended my other sessions, you recognize this one. I still come back to it because it is so efficient. It is so good for you to remember. There's 3 things that you can immediately tap into. Number 1, loan advance. And I have this emergency grants words on here because at one time, SBA was calling it emergency grant. That's why I had it on. Later on, they changed that to loan advance. In any way, that 10,000 you apply, that is meant to be forgiven. But one condition, your application must be accepted. So you do have to apply. And then if your application got accepted, you get the 10,000. But what if they accepted your application later on? They say, oh, no, we don't have it for you. Or you said that, I just don't think I qualify for it and I'm done. That 10,000 still stay with you because that's an emergency fund to meet the urgent need. So that you have to apply. And anyone on this right now, I have like over 60 people's online, and I want to make sure you all have done that. What if you say, well, Ying, what about I have like 5 other businesses? And do I apply for all of them, or I only qualify one? No, you should apply for all of them. Okay. And that would be what we want to see you doing. Then the second one is forgivable loan, which is known as a PPP program. And then the third one is relief for existing loans. I'll tell you, if you have SBA loan with a bank and things were really tight for you, now it's tighter, your bank should have already done this for you because SBA pays them. The bank didn't come out of their own pocket. The SBA has a $17 billion to ease your loan payment for 6 months, means that you don't have to pay for 6 months. So if you have SBA loan and your banker hasn't really talked to you about it, I would be mad. I think they should. Okay. I knew quite a few clients already had that. The bank came out to them voluntarily saying that we give you 6 months payment for free. So make sure you go after that if you don't have it. Okay. Now let's do the 10K. So this is the website, and I am going into, this is the website you apply for the 10K. And if you finish applying for it, you actually would have this number shows up. This is your application number. Is really important. You want to make sure that you get this one. You get this one recorded because they don't really print properly. So either you take a picture or what. Okay. So let me show you the website. And I went to Catherine, if you are listening, and can you tell Derek to mute himself because he's creating background noise for me? Okay. All right. So now this is the website I have, and you I want to really do this with you. So sba.gov. So this is the website that you come into SBA website. And then if you click here, and you will see that there is a section for the loan sources for small business. I want you to go to funding programs and come over here in the middle, disaster assistance loan. If you click here, and you will apply for assistance. Right here, economic injury disaster loans and the loan advance. What it does is, I know in Iowa, not a lot of us really had experience with economic injury disaster loan itself because we were not in the FEMA declared area. But if you go to California, New Orleans, then they actually do. So this program has existed for a long time. It's not new, but of course now become a norm because who else is not in disaster right now, right? So you click here and you will come over here to click again. This will give you the screen I was giving you. So you are going to come over here to apply. Okay, ladies, gentlemen, I want you to realize that you see on this one, it says applicant is an individual who operates under a sole proprietorship. That is our Schedule C. That is literally these people, okay? So you should be able to come over here. And with or without an employee, so they don't care whether you have an employee or not, you are sole proprietor, okay? Or as an independent contractor. So if you get a 1099, you are coming over here, okay? And when you come here, when you go to the second screen, and make sure independent contractors, you put your name and your social security number on there. Please don't put on whoever issue your 1099 name on it. That doesn't make any sense, okay? But a lot of people make that mistake. All right. So that is so much about